We're inside of Gideon Ofnir's study. Before him stand Rogier, Finnick, and also Atlas and Roderica. Behind them stands Ensha, silent and observant as usual. Rogier has just told Gideon about their fight against the Tree Sentinel, and how they all managed to kill it. He vouches for Atlas and Roderica to be worthy allies at the Roundtable Hold. He commends their bravery and potential. Gideon inspects the two newcomers carefully, but is not that interested, it seems. As he looks at Atlas, he senses youth and insecurity. Not to mention the sheer fear he senses from Roderica. But there is bravery too, yes. He recognizes Roderica as a spirit tuner, inexperienced and young, but with potential. She's no real tarnished, but she can improve her skill and knowledge here at the Roundtable Hold with guidance from Rogier and other sorcerers. Atlas, however, is a different story. He may be brave, but he is maidenless. Without a maiden, he will remain weak as he is now, clueless, nowhere to go. And upon hearing this, Atlas stands up for himself. He has been by Finnick's side this whole time, surely has proven himself to be worthy of being with them. Finnick agrees. Atlas is every bit of a soldier as everyone else here. Roderica also agrees. Rogier shows compassion and tells Gideon the boy did stand up against the Tree Sentinel. He saw it with his own eyes. He has potential. Gideon acknowledges this, but bravery isn't the only thing that counts. He has seen plenty of brave men and women, and plenty of them died. Stupidly. Because bravery was all they had. A whole argument is held, but Gideon is dead clear. He wishes Atlas best of luck, but without a maiden, without being able to grow in strength, he is of no use there. Atlas is clearly upset, and before Finnick can say anything else, Atlas storms off into the hallway. He looks at all the other Tarnished and simply snorts at them. Finnick and Roderica run after Atlas, trying to calm him down. There's no getting through to him. Right before the main door, he turns to Finnick and asks him how he got himself a maiden. He never saw him with anyone. And Finnick is honest, telling him about Melina and how she just appeared in front of him. He didn't ask her to do anything, she just appeared. And this reminds Atlas of the girl he saw in the woods not too long ago, and how she also vanished when Roderica came to him. And suddenly, there's determination in his eyes. And before Roderica and Finnick can say anything, the young barbarian leaves. Finnick and Roderica stay behind as they look at each other. He claims it's a miracle they survived so long out in the wilderness, and Roderica states it's all thanks to Atlas. He took care of her when he didn't even have to. It's so unfair. Why can't they all just protect people in need? Finnick understands her worries. He's certain Atlas is smart enough to know what he's doing. But then again, he can't let him leave. So he grabs his sword and soon also heads out after Atlas. Rogier bumps into him, claiming they're going to have a council for the assault on Stormveil Castle. He can't leave now. Finnick claims his friend is more important than the attack. He'll be back as soon as he can. Rogier can't convince him, but in a way there is a certain pride to be seen on the wizard's face. He sees true brotherhood and friendship, and that warms his heart. Out in the wilderness of Limgrave at night, we see Margit venturing away from Stormveil Castle, all the way to the cliffs of Limgrave as he raises his hands in the air and performs a quiet summoning of sorts. The darkness is pitch black. There's nothing we can see besides him, until we hear the sounds of hoofs coming near. And out of the darkness we see a group of black knights on horseback. Around 7 of them arrive and stop before Margit. Margit calls them his cavalry and orders them to roam the shores of Limgrave and hunt all the new Tarnished that arrive. Keep them away from Stormveil and bring them to him. The cavalry all ride into the night, eternally obedient and deadly determined, while Margit stares with approval, looking at the stars in the sky, claiming he will protect their order. Father. At the Roundtable Hold, Gideon is in the war room with all his most prestigious warriors. There's Rogier, Dialos, Ensha, and others too. And soon Nefeli also joins them, as Gideon welcomes his daughter, though she is late to their council. Nefeli is very obedient to her father and apologizes. The war council is held as Gideon tells them the fortress of Stormveil is their target once again after many previous attacks have failed in the past. A frontal assault won't work, neither is flanking it because of the steep, narrow and high cliffs it's situated on. Its walls are strong but not impossible to climb on with the right material. What they need is a way inside the castle and try to sabotage it from the inside. Rogier continues. They know plenty of wagons enter and exit the place every few days, bringing that foul creature Godrick more limbs to attach to his body. That's the only time the strong gates are ever opened. If they are to ambush the next caravan, kill the guards, disguise themselves, and enter the castle like this, they may have a chance. Dialos is skeptical. If they kill the guards, then they have no idea where to go. They can only kill a few, out of sight of the rest, and hope to blend in. Rogier and Gideon agree on this. So, a small infiltration team then, to enter the castle with the other wagons and guards, make their way to the main tower, lower the bridge, and weaken the defenses on the front walls. Also, their main assault force can attack with minimal resistance and an opened gate. Now Gideon looks at his daughter, Nefeli, and asks if she will lead the infiltration. Nefeli simply nods, claiming she will obey his commands. Dialos looks strange. Is it a wise idea? Nefeli has only just become part of the elite squadron, and she's already given a task to do alone? She needs help. Rogier agrees. Perhaps some of the new Tarnished can help her? They also hunger for a chance to prove themselves. But Gideon dismisses this. Finnick has been gone for a day and there's no sighting of him. He was second in his trials. If you can't even trust him for staying among his side, then he will only trust the one he's sure of. In that case, Rogier claims his place besides Nefeli. 2 is better than 1, and Gideon knows he can trust him. This is allowed. Dialos is to inform the assault forces on the plan. Rogier is to head to Hugh and tell him to finish the last of the spears as soon as possible. Once everyone leaves, it's just Gideon and Nefeli. He looks at his daughter and tells her she should be proud. She has been waiting for this moment for so long, he knows this. It's her time to prove herself. Isn't she honored to have been given such an important task? Nefeli again nods. She's honored and grateful as always, and she won't let him down. Gideon smiles and places his hand on her shoulder. He will be proud as well. That he's sure of. And in the hallways of the Roundtable Hold, we see all the hundreds of Tarnished, old and new, preparing for the attack. All of them are gathering weapons, armoring themselves, training in the sparring rooms. Hugh is smithing endlessly. Roderica, however, feels afraid and incredibly lonely. Once she sees Rogier, she approaches him and tells him she doesn't want to go with them. She can't fight, she's far too afraid. Rogier sees the panic in her eyes and calms him down, showing his gentle side. He tells her she's no Tarnished and doesn't have a place besides them on the battlefield, at this point in time at least. This isn't meant as an insult, but as a comfort. She can stay here at the round table for safety, assuring her Gideon is okay with it as well. Roderica is glad to hear that, and also asks if he knows anything about Atlas, but Rogier sadly doesn't. But however, Finnick has gone after him, so they're probably out there together somewhere, safe. Roderica can only hope that's true. It ends with Rogier taking Roderica to a separate room somewhere, which will be hers. It's a cozy room with a bed, a fireplace, not too big, but still cozy. Right before he leaves, he does tell her that he saw the magic she was performing back in the field against the tree sentinel. Her jellyfish partially saved the day. Roderica acts awkwardly, claiming she just did something random, but Rogier dismisses this. She didn't do something random. She performed a solid spiritual trick. She should practice on that. She may be no tarnish, but that doesn't mean she should sulk away. You can see fire in her heart. It's but a small flame, but it's burning nonetheless. And after a very gentle smile, Rogier leaves Roderica. The girl is left alone in her room, but feeling slightly empowered nonetheless. Elsewhere in Limgrave, Atlas is roaming through the woods, angrily and frustrated. He tries to look everywhere for the mysterious girl he saw earlier, but he can't seem to find her. He passes the sleeping nest of rune bears, even past another tree sentinel out in a field, but he doesn't find the girl anywhere. And eventually he ends up at another ancient ruin on top of a small secluded hill. He makes a fire as he stares out into the wilderness, sighing. He just wants to belong. Why can't he just belong? And that's when we see a faint blue glow appearing, and the girl shows herself to Atlas again. She smiles, introducing herself as Leona, a spirit maiden. Atlas smiles as he kneels before her, but the girl chuckles, claiming he has no need to do any of that. She has been watching him for a while. Watch him suffer and endure. The kindness of his heart, the strength of his soul. We have a whole moment with them as she explains him who he is and why he has come to these lands. It's almost the exact same explanation Melina gave Finnick several episodes earlier. Atlas takes it all in, as he gets the short version of them being basically reincarnated soldiers of the once powerful Lord Godfrey, consort of Queen Marika. Leona also explains her role as guide, and being able to turn runes of defeated enemies into strength. And eventually, once he has heard it all, Atlas is very glad to have finally found a way to be part of something. Part of a clan, part of a brotherhood. But the fact they so easily denied him does make his heart feel doubts. Leona understands and smiles, claiming the Roundtable Hold is simply just one of the many ancient societies in the lands between. It also has its own rules, its own hierarchy, its requirements. He simply has to show them he's worthy. Atlas knows this but finds it ridiculous how its worth can only be judged by her company. Leona smiles again. Not only her company, but the strength she can give him. Atlas is a strong warrior, but he will never be able to face the Lord of Stormveil Castle alone, and what lies beyond. People such as Gideon Ofnir know this all too well, but the assault on Stormveil Castle is soon to begin, and Atlas has all the reasons to prove himself, and finally be part of a clan, of a family. Atlas nods, feeling destined. He thanks Leona for being with him. It's good to not feel so lonely. Leona gently smiles, saying she has a feeling he isn't so lonely as he thinks he is. And upon saying that, we see Finnick appearing out of the night. He smiles at Atlas, being glad he found him. And Atlas smiles back. Brother. The two embrace, as Finnick makes it clear he's not losing him again after all the mess from the past few days. And Atlas chuckles, telling Finnick he found her, the maiden. Finnick smiles, and now they both will be part of the Round Table, take on Stormveil Castle, and kill Margit. Atlas and Finnick stand before each other, and nod. Destined. And all the while we see Melina behind Finnick and Leona behind Atlas, also smiling. At Stormveil Castle, Godrick is torturing another captured Tarnished and throws him into the spider pit. The Lord is angry and impatient. He can feel the incoming attack upon them, yet he feels powerless. He orders all his soldiers to double the forces on the walls, triple the patrols around the castle. Get Margit and have him stand at the gate, ready to attack anyone that comes near. This castle is his. And that's when some of the guards approach him and tell him the doctors have made a breakthrough with their studies. Godrick soon heads down to the depths of the castle where the laboratories are. He approaches the doctors as they have placed the living dragon's head inside a glass box. It's very much alive and growling. Godrick only wishes to know one thing. Does it still have the power of fire? And without any words, the dragon's head is taken out of the box and held at another capture tarnished against a wall. The main doctor cites an old draconic poem while holding the dragon's head as a weapon, aiming it at their human targets. And upon finishing the poem, it unleashes a powerful breath of fire, instantly incinerating the screaming tarnished alive. The doctors kneel before Godrick, stating, "The weapon is ready." Godrick smiles. "Let them come. Let the round table come. They will have no idea what awaits them."